So I think these are mostly mock-ups, but as you go back further this way, you're gonna get to the ruins, and unfortunately, we have these trees blocking the way, so we can't actually see the ruins. Funny enough, I lived right there. So thank you for watching Revisiting History, Ancient X-Files, Ancient Aliens, things. Yeah, love you. Welcome to Revisiting History, and we're doing one of the things that I love to do today. One of the most important things in my life to keep myself grounded is to immerse myself in Native American culture. And today, we are back at the Salmon Ruins, checking out the Chaco culture. Come with me on this mission, on this journey. So this is the front structure, and one of the really cool things about this is that if you come here during a certain time, during the solstices, there's an alignment with this area. So you can see the beautiful construction from these. They use tiny pieces and big pieces, and they have this mortar. And you can see that there's already, I don't know, 3-4 feet of ground here, and then there's a room. And then we look over here. This is called the bowling alley room. And the reason it's called the bowling alley is because it looks like a bowling alley, right? It's very long, and it's part of the culture, and they would make these. Now the thing is that they found a baby that was buried here or left here after it had been abandoned by the Chaco culture. So we don't know why. It was probably a ceremonial type thing for the burial, but the problem is that it came in later, so therefore even then it wasn't found until they actually excavated the site. Now it was found with other things like rubble and trash, but the thing is that they would often, it wasn't a desecration or some sort of bad thing to bury a body with trash and stuff like that. So that's where we're at right now, is the bowling alley. It's a pretty large room. So again, here's the bowling alley from the front. You can see how big it is now. And the crazy thing is that it's left a lineage of turkeys that have came to exist to this day. I mean, there's lots of people who have moved in animals like bullock with the peacocks, but now we have turkeys because of the Chaco culture. Behind me is room 3, and it's actually known for being the fact that they found so many artifacts in it. There was some tools, some other stuff, but like the fact that this room alone, it's actually fairly small, had so many tools in it. And I mean, maybe it's not tiny, it's maybe like 15 by 8, but still pretty small considering how many rooms there are here. I believe there's almost 300. I could be wrong. One of the craziest things about this area in the Southwest is that like we had more people living here during the time of the Chaco people than we do now. It's really unfortunate, but this is the dotted kiva, and the thing is that it used to actually have the dots along the little black squares, and now because of time, I mean even 100 years, they're absolutely gone. This room and the next one came into existence about 1070, about 1080 AD, and are kind of some of the older structures in this area. However, by 1300, the Chaco culture had completely flushed out of this area and moved into the Pueblo area and maybe south. So this is just like the last room, one of the older rooms, and this used to be known as the painted kiva, and there was some actual artwork on the very bottom area. Which again, with the amount of water that we receive, it's hard to maintain petroglyphs, but usually the ones that are carved are the ones that we actually find today. But you can see this is a smaller kiva, not like the much larger grand kiva we'll find later. All right, so from what we know about this specific room is it was some sort of milling area. And again, for your average living space, you don't need a giant area, but for cooking, milling, that kind of stuff, breaking stuff down, you need a lot of people in here, and they're all probably working very difficult jobs, very hard jobs for very long hours. I mean, it wasn't an hour shift back then, it was until you were done. If you look over there, you can also see what appears to be a similar type of gray wacky style. We know that the stones here were also quarried from the same exact mine that the ones from the Aztec ruins came from, until it came back until the very late Chaco era, where they had to actually bring river stones in, because you'll see the structures, they start to kind of peter out. So I'm actually standing on the upper story view, and this is going to be around the 3rd story. tallest area in this one. Like I said, Aztec ruins might be 4. You go down to Chaco, you're talking about 5 stories, maybe more if they could structurally figure it out. But I'll show you the area where I'm at, and you'll be able to see why this is the high point. And again, this would allow them to see out into the hills. And then, of course, there's some floors below, but you can look out and you can see from every angle what's going on. All right, so these are the gallery rooms, and you can see that the original construction's a lot like Chaco or some of the Chaco locations that you would find at Chaco Canyon. And this was one of the ones that was first converted into a grand kiva here. And absolutely beautiful construction. Look at these small stones inlaid between the large stones. And then this obviously looked like a window or maybe a door even. And then we have holes that go through these rooms. Sometimes ventilation shafts, sometimes storage or fires, but it's hard to tell without further evidence. And if we go to the right, there's also another area. And it looks like most of the stones underneath are gone. This would have opened up into here. Let's try and get a peek. It's the same type of room, it looks like. It's really sad as we walk up this hill here and we look at these gorgeous, gorgeous constructions. There's a photo, and I may try and inlay it. Look how small that is. That's how tall this place was. There was a photo of a 3rd floor here, taken back when this place was excavated. And again, you look in there, you can see where the wood beams are, and those are the separation walls. It's probably another floor below here. Of course, time takes back everything, but considering that fall, and you can see the sand pouring in from. Sometimes the archaeologists will put extra dirt or sand to free up the area and make sure it's not falling apart. But you look at this place and imagine with a population 3-4 times what it is now. Can't believe it, man. So you can see the rooms behind me, and they believe that these ones were actually constructed, or at least they were constructed early, but possibly not even used by the Chacos. Probably maybe used by people who came afterwards. So, I mean, that usually happens with these kind of structures. I know at Upatki, we knew like 3 or 4 different civilizations had actually lived in there. You see 1, 2, 3, 4, and they all open up into each other so that way you can travel through. So here the ruins actually claim this is probably the most important room in the entire facility, because this room allowed them to date it back to the 1100s. So without this room and what they found in it, you can start to see some kind of different type of construction. As you go up further, you start to see more kind of oblong stones, where down there it's quarried. This is the most important room at the Salmon Ruins. Sorry guys, it's really cold, man. I can barely hold my phone. I can't feel my hand. Behind me, we also have probably the second most important location on the site, because it was able to actually preserve organic material. Now, what's the importance of that? Dating. If you can get organic material, you can carbon date it. And you can see it's pretty large and been cleared out by now, but, you know, imagine when it was active and people were doing stuff and moving around. And I mean, people were moving all throughout this area, unabated by anything, unabated by fences or anything. I mean, we're not testing that, nothing right now, but apparently this room had significance for viewing the solstices, the summer solstices, I believe. So I guess it would rise over on that area, and then you would catch it from inside this room here. Okay, so some archaeologists think that this might actually be one of the central points to this location. I mean, there's more back there, but it's not been excavated whatsoever. And you can see the hearths. Usually there will be a cover over the hearth, like we've seen at the Aztec ruins. And then down there is the Grand Pueblo. We'll do a quick walk around, but lots of important places, and it's such an overlooked area. This needs to be a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I mean, I care about that stuff. I really do think that UNESCO World Heritage Sites are important. So these rooms towards the later stages were actually turned into they were one room, and then they were turned into burial rooms, and they painted the bottom red with ochre, I believe. So we got a weird kind of ceremonial connection that we see across different cultures. And then here you can see some of the stacking. This could be from either the preservation work going on or just the fact that it was getting towards late stage Chaco culture. All right, so we're towards the end of the actual ruins, and this little room here, and then you can compare this one, and I guess it maybe was built in parity with the ones on the other side, because they have a lot of similarities, just like the next site. The Great Kiva is going to, yeah, see, it's even got more rooms that look exactly the same. If we get over to the Great Kiva, which is right here, we're going to see a lot of things that we saw at the Aztec ruins, right? I mean, it's been rebuilt to some extent because the Aztec ruins, it was in perfect condition. Now, if you look, there would have been, you can see where the stones would have stacked 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you would have had it going all the way up. With the amount of wood around here, it would have been no problem. And if you look at the structure, it's got the four support columns. It would have had the hearth area in the center, the instinct hearth area, and then you would have had a kiva bench that wraps all the way around so that people can sit down. And then I guess some sort of like antechamber. But this is the largest room here. Pretty significant. It's about, I don't know, maybe 30, 40 yards. As always, I got to thank you guys for coming with me, revisiting history, being part of the world as we make it. Because that's what it is. We're making history. And you got to always thank the people that came before us. So the University of Eastern New Mexico, I believe in Portales, and also Cynthia Irwin William gave us this beautiful place through her work. Williams, sorry. And without great people, things don't get done. People say, oh, things just get done, or people achieve things as a group or as a society. It's leaders. It's people like Cynthia who took the steps to come out here and change this place, to excavate it and find all these crazy amounts of stuff that they haven't even gone through. I've talked to them. So, I don't know, maybe we can get in there and maybe see some stuff. I don't know. If we ask real nice in there. That's crazy. I was just talking about Cynthia Irwin Williams, and we have a bench here dedicated to her. I must have missed the plaque. Then, of course, you have the Salmon Ruins, the Salmon Homestead. You know, it's pretty poorly in poor condition, because time takes its toll. Not on Chaco structures, though. Just here.